Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here we are tonight with the Evolution Racing League for the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series here as we go into the final 3 weeks of their season here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting for 100 laps tonight. And remember, the Evolution Racing Leagues is brought to you by some proud sponsors. First up, we have Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central is the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go to www.ornissancentral.com and check out what they have in store for you there and tell them Freaky Fast sent you. We also have Sheffield Graphics. They are the leading designers in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation's Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics and tell them that Freaky Fast sent you. We also have ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air like a traditional speaker, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful bass response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to buttkicker.com and check out what they have in store for you there. You can use Freaky Fast 20, that's Freaky with 2 E's, to get 20% off any purchase on buttkicker.com, and you can go feel what you have been missing. But back to the action out here on the racetrack from all our proud sponsors. Thank you, and thank you to all the fans tuning in here tonight on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's going to be a fantastic night. Like I said, 3 weeks left here in the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series. We have Texas Motor Speedway here tonight. Then we'll have the Dover track. That is, man, the Monster Mile is going to be one heck of a show for sure, with that being our penultimate week, second to last week. And then to end it all, we'll go to Darlington, and we'll be able to crown a champion from there. And pretty much looking at the points wise here, looks like GT Rosario looking pretty stout with a 24-point lead over Cody McCauley, who I do not believe is here yet in our session. And we are in qualifying at the moment with only about a minute left. So it does not look like maybe Cody McCauley's going to make it here tonight. And it's going to be really, really tough for him to be able to pull off this victory here. But GT Rosario, our point here, is starting third. But hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I am Zach Hall. We have myself up here in the booth. Alongside me will be Brandon Colley calling the shots. We'll have Robert Moyer Jr. up here running the cameras, giving us all the nice action out here on track here at the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series. But Brandon, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Well, can't complain, Zach. Hope everybody out there on Facebook and YouTube land having a great evening. Excited to see these trucks here at Texas, man. Since the repave, it's put on a lot of really exciting racing with one and two being a little wider, less banked, a lot more off throttle time. But three and four, of course, really where you're going to want to set the passes up to make the inside lane work because it is flat foot. Pretty much the whole run going through three and four. Really, when the tires get worn, you might lift a little bit, but that's pretty much a wide open corner there.
Yeah, this track's going to be very treacherous, like you said, through 1 and 2, with it being a completely different set of corner than 3 and 4 is. So wide open 3 and 4, 1 and 2, you're gonna have to figure it out once you get down there. Qualifying has come to an end here at the racetrack, and we will go ahead and bring up our qualifying results. As it looks like your Sheffield Graphics poll is going to go to Curtis Preston, so congrats to him on pulling that off here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway. But here it is. Our qualifying results are up. Curtis Preston bringing home that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award. Second's going to go to Craig Burns. Third is GT Rosario, our points leader. Fourth is going to be Richard Gonzalez. Fifth, Travis Everett. Sixth, John Willett. Seventh, Chad Biesinger. Eighth, Michael Sheffield. And rounding out your field here tonight in the ninth position is Brennan Biesinger, as that is our field tonight here for the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series. We'll go ahead and bring up our Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight of Curtis Preston. Yes, I will, actually. I couldn't find him there for a second, but he's down here, and he'll get to talk here with Brandon Colley.
Hey, Curtis, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing, Brandon?
I can't complain, man. Imagine doing pretty well down there, bringing home the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award for tonight's race at Texas. We talked about the the difference in banking between 1 and 2, and I kind of struggle with it. What do you think the good line is going through 1 and 2 here with it being a little bit flatter?
With the setup in the trucks tonight, and usually 9 times out of 10, it's right on the white line. That's the way I like to run it anyway. I think tire management is going to be huge here on the long run. So if you can take care of the right front and keep it to the bottom of 1 and 2, I think you're going to be hard to handle.
We talk about the long runs here. What are we estimating the fuel mileage is going to be? How many laps do you think you can get out of that truck tonight?
It's going to be close. 47, maybe. If you save, you might be able to stretch it to 50, but we're not in the championship hunt here, so I ain't got nothing to lose. We may take some chances here to stop it. I've never been one to like to ride around, save fuel anyway. I'm here to race, so I'm gonna go out here and race and have some fun.
All right, bud. We'll let you get back down there and get ready to take this field to green here. But thanks for chatting with us and best of luck. And I'll be keeping an eye on that strategy of yours.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, there's your Sheffield Graphics pole winner there of Curtis Preston here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series here from the Evolution Racing Leagues. As we're gonna bring them down here and get ready to start this race and be in our third and final race here, Brandon. We've gone through this whole season, man. It's been wild to watch so far. GT Rosario points leader right there in that third position, looking pretty stout there without that 62 here tonight in the points, but he's still got to make a pretty decent points here as the pace truck will pull off, and we'll get ready to go green flag racing here as the green is out, and we are off and away here for 100 laps tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway here for the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series. Man, oh man, looks like GT Rosario, they're trying to get up into that third position with second to Craig Burns there. Working that outer groove. He's got GT there in the middle. Looking to go on the bottom of Travis Everett, pushing with John Willett. Multiple cars here ready to do battle as they go down to 3 where, like you said earlier, Brandon, it's wide open.
Yeah, I was watching that. Unfortunately, Travis Everett just left the inside lane open there for the 81 of John Willett, and he held on pretty well. But as the run goes on, you're really not going to want to be too much on the outside. You can defend pretty well with older tires there, but I still think the inside is the preferred lane. I think I just saw the 6 of Richard Gonzalez spin out of 2. Oh, nope. A little bit loose, but he kept it going.
Yeah, definitely a little on the free side. And that's what we're going to see with these cold tires is now look at this battle here. Craig A. Burns trying to put a pass on the leader, Curtis Preston, but here comes the points leader himself behind him with GT Rosario in that number 4. Giving the good push to his teammate, lets him clear, and we're going to be single file now through 1 and 2 at the front 5, nose to tail.
GT, the 81 of John Willett, after making the pass on Travis Everett last time by, put down the quickest lap of the race, so that 81 is looking to head toward the front, Zach.
Yeah, the 81, he was quickest in practice there too, Brandon. So didn't back up that time in qualifying. I'm sure he's looking to maybe redeem himself from that qualifying effort there as he came in tonight 3rd in the points. So Willett there in that 81 is trying to get himself maybe possibly up into that 2nd position in points and maybe challenge for the championship battle. We've got a challenge for lead here with that points here. GT Rosario trying to get some more extra bonus points in his back pocket.
Yeah, with Tony McCauley missing the race tonight, I think it almost assuredly locks in GT as the champion. A lot can happen, but I think a lot of people are pretty far back to be able to make it in 3 races, especially with the field size they have tonight. It's going to pretty much guarantee a good handful of points, even if GT finishes last. But he wants to go ahead and win this thing and kind of solidify that.
Oh, he wants to go out with a bang. GT always wants to win, and him and teammate Curtis Preston will be doing battle as Craig A. Burns now getting passed by John Willett, who says he wants to break up this slide job racing front 2 here as he comes into the 3rd position down to turn 1. He's starting to make it the low ground, see if he can get into this battle up here up front.
Seeing a little wiggles out of guys about center off of turn 2 there, the 2 of Craig Burns specifically that time by. And it's so difficult because if you get back to the gas a little bit too soon there, just how flat the corner is, it doesn't look all that flat, but just the reduced amount of banking really upsets the balance when you get back to the throttle hard. And you'll step out pretty quick, and we heard Curtis talk about this pre-race interview there for the pole. You're really going to want to try to conserve your right front and just tires in general. And diving in too hard into turn 1 will definitely eat up your right front, but trying too hard out of turn 2 will kill your right rear.
This is going to be pretty much, I would say almost a pack race. You can see this front 6 here not breaking away from each other and pretty much staying almost in a solid line here. Is actually got Travis Haber there trying to get under the inside of Craig Burns there for that 4th position. Looks like he will, and put himself up into that top 4 along with his other 2 Slide Job Racing teammates.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's going to be a bit of a pack race here until, I think maybe 25 to 30 laps in, when, the tires are really heated up, they're kind of worn in, where guys will start breaking away a little bit, specifically in 1 and 2, where, your difference in line really makes the difference. Your difference in your tire wear really makes a difference in the speed you're able to carry in and out of that set of corners. That's when you're going to see guys start to break away.
And GTR is already trying to do his best to break away, but it's going to be pretty much impossible at this point with the amount of throttle input these guys can put in right here. I mean, it's wide open through 3 and 4 mostly. Maybe having to crack it definitely behind his first person actually wash up the track a little bit. And that's what you're going to see there. In 3 and 4, that's where I feel like you're going to feel the dirty air the most, because you're trying to hold it flat there behind that guy, but you're getting that draft and that less downforce there as they head off in the 1 now and do the big lift into pretty quick back into the gas. So it's a lot of throttle here tonight at Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with the draft going down into turn 3, you're carrying a little bit more speed, but also, like you talked about, that dirty air really makes the truck feel a lot tighter. You're going to have to lift, or if you try to stay in it like that, you can for a little bit, but it's really going to heat up that right front, and it's going to hurt you in the long run. So being patient here and just trying to get a good run out of 2 to set up a nice, inside move going into 3. Like I said before, that's really where you're working during this race, is trying to figure out the exit of turn 2. Because that's where you're going to get your money there.
You see Richard Gonzalez break into the top 5 of that 6 machines. You actually see up front John Willett too, trying to take the lead here from this 4 GT Rosarios. Oh, Richard Gonzalez sideways off of 4 there. He's going to lose position to these leaders and some ground. But now it's 2 by 2 up front, and these drivers are doing battle as Willett to the lead, side by side for second now. Curtis Preston and GT Rosario with Travis Everett directly behind.
Yeah, I got Elite Racing Group driver and 3 Hungry Slide Job Racing drivers nipping at his heels here. He's trying to get away as quickly as possible. And looking at the 6 Richard Gonzalez, he's not having a good time handling that truck tonight, but good hands being able to save that at least twice now that we've seen. So still a clean truck for the 6, and I'm sure his tires aren't happy, but he's got a lot of speed.
Oh, he was looking strong there, got into that top 5 position. But look here, Rhino and Chad Beasley, you actually seen the 6 there. Started to kick out the rear in just a little bit there through the corner. So maybe a little bit loose on that side for the 6 right now, at least for his handling take. But Chad Beasley are looking pretty strong here in that 7th position. That's where he started, but only 3 seconds back too. And he's got Michael Sheffield directly behind in that 1 machine too. He started in 8th, and he's running that 8th position. So these guys staying pretty consistent together.
Yeah, and they're running about a 1/10 to 2/10 off what the front pack up here is running. It looks like right now Curtis Preston and GT being the quickest cars on the track. Curtis Preston being the fastest, only marginally though by about 4/100ths of a second last time. But they were about a 10th quicker than anyone else on the track right now, Zach.
They definitely were. Wow, that's actually impressive to see. So let's see how that works out here through this run as we're just completing lap 14, starting lap 15 with John Willett leading the way. 6th the first for him, drove up through in this 81, and he's held on to it so far. GT Rosario started to take a look on his teammate there, Curtis Preston, but I think he's going to back out of that there and hold suit. But what type of advantage does this play into the fact that you got 3 Slide Job Racing trucks with 1 Elite Racing Group trucker?
Well, I think just the sharing of information, being able to have 3 different trucks trying 3 different lines, 3 different entry points, 3 different throttle points, they're all going to be sharing that information, whereas John may have a spotter with them. It's kind of talking to him about what's going on, but these guys actually being in the truck and kind of relaying what they're feeling, I think that's just a huge advantage. Granted, John's going to have to clean air, his tires are going to be a little bit better, but I think once the track really starts to change and cool off a little bit more as we're into the night here, These guys are going to have a little bit better of handling, where the line needs to be, how their trucks are feeling, and also they're going to have a lot of help with pit strategy and trying to figure out exactly how far they can go on the fuel. Whereas John Willett may end up, we talked to Curtis Preston, he said he's going to try to make it a two-stopper, where John just might not be able to and have to make that one extra stop that could cost him.
They could definitely be using him as a tow right now just to save some fuel. I mean, that's a definite possibility right now. I mean, you just see how powerful the draft is. These front five have not got away from each other, and it's been a similar distance between them the whole time. And even on the straightaways, it closes up very much. I mean, some guys very close to taking a shot there on the inside, looking to them, but it's just definitely a place where you could save a lot of fuel and possibly, like Curtis was saying, he didn't seem like he was going to save any. So if anybody's going, we know Curtis is going, but possibly this 4 here, looking at the bigger picture of saving some fuel and maybe making a one-stop.
Yeah, we know GT is very willing to gamble on that. He's done it in a couple races past and just been able to squeak across the line. Didn't get the win doing it, but got a lot better track position than we would have otherwise. So very likely. And we got Curtis Preston now going for the lead underneath the 81.
Yes, he does. No time to waste for that 29. Back to the lead for Curtis Preston in the MB black truck out front here on lap number 20 of 100 here at the Texas Motor Speedway as he gets back to that pole position now where he started. And now Willett back to second. You got GT, a little bit of pressure there from teammate Travis Everett. We'll see how it all shakes out here, because I can tell you what, somebody in this 4 here is saving.
Well, I'm not sure if it's the 4 of GT. Looking at their lines going into 3, you see Curtis Preston and John Willett kind of taking that wider fanning entry, but GT and Travis Everett directly behind him took a really shallow entry and were able to close up quite a bit on these lead 2 here.
Yeah, it's possible nobody's saving. These guys just want to race it out. I mean, that's another thing, but at the same time, there's that possibility of saving that fuel to be able to make it all the way to the end. And I would think that would personally be the winning strategy, in my opinion.
I think based on the fact, we don't have that many trucks here tonight, so you're not really going to, anticipate getting a caution, especially with how spread out everything is right now. Not too many people side by side battling. And the trucks, they're not handling well, but they're not to the point where you really have to, think about the driver losing it on their own. So it's going to come down to a pit stop strategy here, and just being able to make that one less pit stop, those 2 extra laps that Curtis was talking about at the end that they didn't think that they could make, is really going to be the difference in, coming home first to maybe 5th. If some other guys can do it, and you can't be in the first of those that had to make that extra stop. So any little bit that you can maybe save or just wait a little bit to get back into the throttle, it's going to help you out in the long run, and you may come away with a victory for it.
At the moment, Curtis Preston still leading the way. Oh, wow. Valid points there from you, Kylie, but tell you what, GT Rosario almost made an early pit stop there.
Yeah, I don't know if he clipped the apron or if he felt like maybe he was getting loose, but it was a quick little bit of steering input to the right and then snap back to the left, and just about broke loose on that. Good save out of the 4. Didn't lose too much time either.
Yeah, it personally, looking at it, looked like he caught the apron just a teeny bit, chased it up the racetrack, and then he had to chase it one more time. So, yeah, a little bit of apron there. I think he'll be all right. We'll have to monitor that as he's actually now gotten passed by Travis Everett, so he's back to that 4th position now, but still able to hang in tow right here as nobody really getting away, but Curtis Preston trying to, as he's actually built up about a 3 truck length gap.
And Curtis Preston was 2/10 exactly quicker than the 81 of John Willett in second last time, so he's just ever so slightly, lap after lap, able to kind of pull out that gap as we talked about. And we're about 25 laps in. The tires are definitely up to temp here. They're definitely starting to really show their wear. Some guys are struggling, and the more you slide like that, the more it's going to compound it. We talked about Richard Gonzalez with his couple saves. Now he's fallen back to last place, other than Michael Sheffield, who's just come into pit. Almost running the race in reverse, I think, out of Sheffield here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But, just sliding the couple times that we've seen Richard Gonzalez, that's really hurt his tires. We'll have to keep an eye on GT as well. Just them little bitty slides. You do it enough times, it really starts to add up.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to pull away here. Half-second lead now. See if Everett can get past Willett as well. He tries to go high, but Willett there took a pretty wide entry, and that kind of covered off that 59. That's going to let his teammate GT Arizari get to the inside. He's going to back out of it now as those three settle it out. Curtis Preston is definitely starting to check out. And Brandon, you alluded to it earlier in the race. About lap 25 was when we'd see some separation. And
Ooh.
oh man, Everett. Oh, did he ever get loose?
I think that's the product of the dirty air. I think just with the tires at the point that they are now, trying to come up out of the corner, got a little bit tight on the back of the 81 and trying to keep the wheel into it, and it just snapped out from under him. A lot of good saves we've seen so far.
Yeah, and that right there, I think he may like. It's weird the way this track is with the way the line painted on the track. You can run on that line, but if you get a little bit too much of it, that splitter will dig into that apron, and it kind of looked like that was happening. Almost same thing happened to GT, and these things are on such a knife edge already. The trucks are just the way the arrow is that when you get sideways like that or lose a little bit of that front turn and you try to yank that wheel to make it turn, it definitely breaks loose.
Yeah, not seeing too much in the way of wiggles. John Willett, I think center 3 and 4, they're really starting to have to pedal it a little bit. I've seen John kind of wiggle just a couple times over the last few laps. Back end not quite where he wants it to be, and 1 and 2 still looking pretty steady, but the exit at 2 is, I've seen a couple guys. It looks just like it's leaning on that right side, that right rear. These guys are right on the edge of the grip level and keeping it underneath of him here. But the dirty air is definitely wreaking havoc for this, third through fourth here. They just cannot seem to get away from each other, and that's allowed Curtis Preston to pull out to a second lead now.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if Everett gets past well out here. Can he, match or even go quicker than the leader Curtis Preston? Because we've seen Everett and Irizarry both have times where they can run really quick times late in the run. So we'd have to see if maybe this dirty air is playing a factor and they're just trapped here behind Willett, who's starting to fall off the back of Curtis Preston now. As like you said here, we're looking at Sheffield. He did the almost like you said reverse track, like run the race in reverse. Seems he'll probably have to pit one more time, but it'll be a more timely stop, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and Brennan Biesinger pitted a couple laps afterwards. We see him getting passed by the leaders now. He should be able to catch back up to them pretty quickly on the fresh tires and the lap himself. But yeah, I'm just kind of, the one stop is absolutely going to be the way to go if you can make the one stop. If nobody else can make the one stop, these guys might be in a pretty good position here, getting this pit stop out of the way, running it in reverse like this.
It's very possible that there's so many different ways you could play it. You could play this out. It really matters how close they are, because if you can only go 47 laps on a tank by running full out, and even if say that's in a draft, which you'd save some fuel running behind, of course. If you're running by yourself on the next run, your fuel mileage is going to be completely different. So you need to have a few extra, almost safety, laps there to get that fuel just perfectly. Because if you go to 50, that means if you had to save to get to 50, then you're going to have to save again the second run. So how much time are you giving up saving? That's another question you got to ask yourself. Or is the two stop just faster?
Well, I think these guys are all going to go for a two-stop here. We talked to GT, said he was to Curtis, excuse me. He said he was willing to gamble. He's not running for points right now, and he came in pretty early, didn't even try to make it to 50, and John Willett coming in this time as well. I'll expect to see Travis Everett and GT on pit road here within the next 5 laps.
Yeah, they're not even they're no even close to probably being able to make it then if they're coming this early. I mean, you might as well split it into thirds if you're gonna do it like this. So if you're decided to do that two-stop strategy, this is the point. But if these guys are locked in, here comes GT this time. I think he knows, you know what, best chance. Just go ahead and give me some fuel here. I like what Everett's doing. If Everett can put in a decent lap here, come in next time, he'll have the freshest tires to be able to possibly run up to that pack and be in a good position, because we see how much of a pack race it is at the beginning of the runs.
Well, I like the strategy here, trying to build out the gap and make them have to run you down late in the run, uh, coming down to the checkered flag here. But the problem is, if it goes green like this, everybody's got to be super careful about not having any penalties here. Everybody's been pretty ginger getting onto pit road. Travis Everett, as I say that, slides just a little bit there, getting on, but looks like he maintained pit road speed. Shouldn't get a penalty out of this, and it looks like he probably will come out a decent bit behind Sheffield, I believe, once Craig Burns cycles into pit here, who's taken over the lead. But Sheffield on his about 10 lap tires, they should be able to reel him in. And I think Sheffield's kind of playing the same thing here with when he decided to pit, that by the time he's out on his last stint and he's going to run it to the end, he's just got to hope he's got a big enough gap that he's able to not have them run him down.
Have to see how that all plays out here as Craig Burns continues to run. And does he think he can make a one stop? That's the thing. I mean, with all the people pitting already, it kind of makes me think that a one stop's going to be pretty difficult if all these guys are pretty much set on doing a two stop already. So we'll have to see. Does Burns stretch it? Does he get a time of caution? I mean, there's a lot of things that play out. He's got Curtis Preston directly behind him, who is going to be the first car or the car in second place. So this is the battle between first and second. But this is not a pass for the lead. This is a pass to get back on the lead lap. And there goes Curtis Preston on by. So one full lap ahead is Craig Burns. Can he stretch it to that 50 mark and see what he can do here as we come around this time here to complete lap 39? About to do 11 laps more if he wants to be able to do the one-stop strategy. We'll see if that too has the fuel on board to make it there.
Well, Zach, and I think it wasn't a matter of they couldn't have stretched it. I think they just committed to the fact that, hey, we're probably going to be short here, not going to risk it. Everybody else, there's already been a couple guys in the pit. Let's not get too far behind. If we don't think we can make it, just go ahead and split it into that third. So we get the shortest runs that we really need on our tires. And it sounds to me like Craig Burns may be clutching it just a little bit here, trying to save a bunch. And I think if Craig Burns can stretch it to a one stop, I believe that he will win. I think just that extra time they're going to have to take, even though they're going to have the pressure tires with the extra stop. Like we're seeing it here, he's a full lap ahead. I think that this just may be the move that wins him the race if he can pull it off.
We'll have to see here as we're riding on board. He hasn't really been doing any fuel saving, what you would hear normally for a fuel saving strategy. So maybe he's confident. We'll have to see here. He's definitely going for it. I mean, there's no reason to stay out this long, personally, in my mind, if you're going to be doing this strategy. So let's see what it plays out to here for Craig Burns.
Yeah, and he very well may not be clutching it yet. I just heard there was a burp in the engine that I may have construed as a clutch. He may have just been pulling out of it, but I think he's feeling confident. He's certainly off the pace, but I think more so off the pace. He's just not giving it full throttle. He's running around here at 3/4, just trying to save just any little bit that he can while not giving up too much time.
Yeah, and Curtis Preston, who unlapped himself, and now it looks like everybody up to that sixth position has unlapped himself now with Craig Burns here. But what I'm looking at is, Curtis is about a straightaway ahead now. And we're not far away from where if Craig Burns makes it, he'll make that pit stop. So he's still going to have a sizable gap. And like you said, Brian, I think this could be a very well-timed strategy here for him if he could make it work. We'll have to see here. He's the fan favorite always out there, we say, Craig Burns. So let's see if he can bring home a victory here tonight in the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series.
Well, and speaking of fans, looking out here on Facebook chat, I got Trevor Massetti, Josh Holmes, and Steve Kerpel. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Trevor saying, go Michael Sheffield. And of course, fan favorite Craig Burns. Josh Holmes saying, go John, go, referring to the 81 John Roulette. And Steve Kerpel rooting on Michael Sheffield and the B-Singers, as well as Craig Burns. So thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us tonight on Freaky Fast Broadcasting here at Texas.
Now, Brandon, how would you describe Texas Motor Speedway to a person that's never, watched a race, what would you say about this track to him to describe it?
It's fast. I haven't seen it. Surprising. It's been quite a while since they did the repave. But I can't really remember watching a race on the new surface. Um, but as far as driving it in the sim, it's still really fast and it's really challenging. That you wouldn't think that little bit of extra banking taken out of turn one would make that much of a difference, but it just changes the way you have to drive the entire track. It's a blur going around here. It can be a handful, and oh man, it's a really fun track. It's probably one of my favorite to drive on. But it's definitely the most unique of these quad oval type tracks that we have here for NASCAR for sure.
Oh, definitely. It's definitely a unique style now to add, that they've, doing these 2 different style corners. It's almost like they did that at, Kentucky now also, so it's something we're seeing more occasionally on the NASCAR circuit. Actually, I believe Kentucky's not on the NASCAR circuit anymore, so, uh, uh, put my foot in my mouth, so, well, on iRacing, we have it, so go to iRacing.com, remember that, to check that out there, and, you can get out there and race on any track you want oval side because we pretty much got them all. Man, oh man, the battle though heating up here. We got Willett and Everett as Burns hits pit road, guys, in the 2 on lap 48. That's not going to cut it. Maybe he's going to do some type of 2-tire splash type strategy, possibly.
I don't think that's worth it. I think you've kind of
Yeah.
made your bed here. You've got to take the full tank and try to save as much as you can during this run. You're only a lap short here. Try to figure out a way, maybe save just a little bit earlier, because he still had plenty of gap here. If it comes down to the end of the race, he could almost clutch for about half that last lap and make it to the end. So I think just stick to the same strategy. Maybe save a little bit earlier than you did before. And I think Craig's still in a good position that he can make this work.
Yeah, we'll have to watch. It's going to be tough. I'm not doubting him, but it's definitely in a tougher spot now. Like I said, it's getting there. I mean, like you said, Brandon, he could technically roll that last lap, but at the same time, he's going to have to roll technically too because that's lap 48 there. He just completed. He's on 49 now, so it's gonna, if he can save some more and then roll that last lap, maybe. But man, it could be a no power finish here for this number 2.
Yeah, and I do not envy him. I've lost so many races on fuel, and not taking anything away from iRacing or really criticizing their product, but it's a lot harder to save fuel in iRacing, I would say, than it is in the actual stock cars. And it's not a strategy that I would really rely on often. It's such a hard thing to really do efficiently. So the fact that he made it this far says a lot about his understanding of really what he needs to do with the truck. And I think if he can pull this off, I'm gonna have to ask him for some pointers because that's one of the things that I really need to figure out here is how they're able to save so much fuel while not really losing up that much pace.
It's an art, man. These guys, some guys are just almost artists with it. Wow. He's painting the canvas there on the bottom is Travis Everett. He was a little bit wiggly loose there side by side for the second position here as it's starting to heat up again here on lap 53 as they head down to turn 1 side by side. Can Everett make the pass?
Yeah, and it's completely not out of the question that we won't get a caution, especially, these guys. We've seen guys struggling with, losing the rear end, just running by themselves. So if that happens, one of these guys side by side trying to battle for position, you could get a caution, and that completely changes up everything right now. I think if we get a caution here, I think these guys seeing what Craig Burns did, I believe everybody will only, they'll run it out from here. But it will almost kind of throw a lifeline to Craig Burns, who, maybe he's wondering now if he can make it to the end, but it will almost assuredly mean that he can, especially at this point. So there's still a lot of things that can happen in the closing laps as we're past halfway here.
Yeah, I tell you what, Everett getting past John Willett there is going to help him a lot. You know, he got behind him last time. It took him a while to get past him and actually stretch that fuel a little bit longer. And I think you're going to see the 59 possibly drive up to this 29 here. And I think that could be the battle for the win tonight because the strategy, at these tracks where you just can't get away and you can draft, I always like the strategy of going a little bit longer and having that fresher rubber because it usually stacks back up at some point. You get two trucks together, they run down that truck in front of them due to the two trucks together just being quicker and breaking the air more. And you're seeing right now Everett continuously be quicker each and every lap, and it's only down 7/10. And the closer it gets, the quicker that truck's going to get too with the draft. So fresher tires and draft helping that 59 very much.
Yeah, and I have to agree with your take on that. The slightly fresher tires, even a couple laps, that does a lot to offset the disadvantage you have with that dirty air. You're just going to be able to naturally turn a little bit better, get back on the gas a little bit better, and it does a lot to kind of overcome it. And almost completely nullifies the fact that there's that dirty air. And Travis Everett, as he's gotten to about that 7/10, he's just making slow gains at this point. Only a couple hundredths quicker than Curtis Preston last time by. But I've also got to point out that the gap, not even necessarily just with Travis on his fresher tires, but with John Millette and GT, it's a lot closer than it was before that pit stop where Curtis Preston had pulled out to over a second on those guys.
It just always seems to accordion back into these style tracks, man. It's something I've noticed with the runs in these trucks. It just always seems to do it. And I mean, it's under a half a second now. Seems like Ouellette now is definitely starting to lose touch to the back of that 59. He's dropped by about 1.2 seconds back. GT still trying to struggle to get around him here. But at the moment, man, I tell you what, Everett is coming pretty quickly, and it's going to get even quicker the closer he gets with that draft. So I just really like the strategy of him going long. As soon as I seen him stretch it a few more laps, I felt like this 59 would possibly be the threat that Curtis Preston would have to worry about.
And looking back, talking about Craig Burns again, noticing his lap times, he's not doing what I would think he would do is go out and get the speed out of the tires to start. He seems like he's starting to save almost right away, running about 4/10 to nearly a second slower than our leaders right now. I think he's dedicated to trying to make this strategy work, Zach. It's just a matter of how much time he's going to give up now trying to save.
That's very interesting to see how much he's trying to save here. I'm gonna try to ride on board here and see if I can hear anything with him because Craig Burns right now running very slow times for the rest of the field here, and really big lift. Just listening to it, it's just a big lift and nothing, no saving technique I would say there, but seems like he lifted a little bit on the straight there. It's hard to tell so hard. I'm about to ride here. I mean, you can hear the sound difference almost, just the completely different pitch of the car that Curtis Preston has compared to Craig Burns. So it's got to be fuel saving.
I think he's just not running full throttle. He's never getting back to full throttle. I think he's going back up to about 3/4 throttle. And just going down the straightaways and just saving that way. And I've heard that's really the preferred way to do it. But at this point, he's almost a lap down. Curtis Preston's not far behind him right now. So I don't know how much time I don't know if this is going to pay off now, having to save this much.
Yeah, Craig Burns is just really going to have to hope to save a lot, man, because the only problem with this, too, is behind him directly is the leaders of Travis Everett and Curtis Preston. Then Everett's within a truck length of the leader now, so those two trucks should get even quicker now that they're together.
Well, and actually looking at the speed difference between Craig Burns and Curtis Preston, it seems like Craig is just a little bit quicker through center for 1 and 2. But in 3 and 4, where most of your speed's going to come from just how wide open it is, he's running a lot slower, which is really what's costing him all this time. And he has picked it up quite a bit. He's now only a couple tenths slower than the leaders right now. So I think he's started to see them get bigger in his mirror, looking at their relatives, saying, okay, they're coming a little bit quicker than I thought. I can't afford to give up this much time, or it's not going to matter how much I save. But I think for as long as he's been saving, I think he might just have enough. I still don't think he can go completely full throttle, but he can definitely push a little bit harder here. And he's really started to pick up the pace, now matching lap times even quicker than our leader Curtis Preston.
Tell you what could help him out here is directly ahead of him is Sheffield, but I think Sheffield just changed tires and he should be able to drive away in that one pretty quickly. But if he could latch onto anybody and help him save a little fuel, that would definitely help the two's cause for saving fuel here. But doesn't look like that's going to happen as the one of Michael Sheffield continues to pull away on the fresher tires. And the 29 and the 59 look to do battle here as they pull away to a 2.4 second, 2.5 second lead over Willett and Irizarry. So, man, I tell you what, it's shaped up to be a two-man battle right now. It's looking
Well, 81 and John Willett coming into pit this time by, which means Curtis Preston not going to be too far away from that. As we know, Travis Everett's going to be able to stay out the longest. But I imagine we'll see everybody in here with the exception of the two of Craig Burns in the next 4 laps, something like that.
Yeah, oh wow, as Everett goes by him there into 1 and 2. Looks like Preston back to the inside. I would expect Curtis Preston into the pits here at some point here. Let's see if he makes this pass and it pulls low here. Yes, he does. He's going to exit on the pit road here and hit pit road. I personally, I'm trying to be the last guy that pits between those two.
We saw how much it worked for Travis the last time, so I think that's what's going to make all the difference here. That gap on tires, I think Travis was really just kind of biding his time.
Yeah, Travis was. He got there, made the pass, and he wasn't even. I think he was almost a second and a half back last pit stop. So if he can make up that same distance, it's going to look good as GT hits pit road here this time. So I imagine Travis, if he was on sequence to do what he did last time, he would pit this time. If I'm Travis Everett right now, as GT is really right on board him coming down pit road. If I'm Travis, I come down either this time or next time. No questions about it.
Yeah, I think you would come down this time. You had to have passed pit road, saw that Curtis was in his box still, so he's not going to get that much of an advantage of you on tires. Just having that 1 or 2 extra laps where he's going, miles faster than you. Travis electing to go around at least one more time. Still nothing on the radio whether he's going to pit, but like you, Zach, I figured he would have pit last time, but certainly this time.
Yeah, I think I kind of like the 1 extra lap stretch here because I think it's just going to accordion back in here, and he should be able to make up that difference on those new tires. As I think he'll be coming this time here on lap number 70 with 30 to go when he crosses the line here. As he gets it woed down, he's going to come to pit road from the lead. Travis Everett here in that 59 machine, looking for another win here this season in the Truck Series over teammate Curtis Preston, who is elected to pit 3 laps earlier. So we'll have to see what the gap difference is when they all settle out.
Well, looking at it now, Craig Burns has about a half-track gap between himself and Curtis Preston, who is going to cycle around to still be a lap down. So he's got about a lap and a half right now, and just about 29 laps, I believe, till the end here. So he's got a lot of time that he can afford to give up. It's still well within the realm of possibility for that 2 truck to save and possibly even coast across for the win here.
Very possible. The only thing that he's doing though is he's running the outside line right now in the 2, and that kind of catches me off guard a little bit for him because you would want to run as possibly as low as you can to get the shortest distance around this racetrack. But he's elected the last few laps to take the outside. He'll go back to the bottom this time in the 2 car, but just not electing to run the bottom there for a few laps. That was kind of interesting. I think he was trying to let the 23 go by, or no, actually the 68 go by of Brendan Biesinger, but he ran high there for multiple laps, and it just, I think that kind of is not only time consuming, but just a longer way around.
I think it might go into the fuel saving a little bit, just trying to keep the RPMs a little bit more stable, rather than slowing down so much to get to the inside, trying to keeping it a more consistent amount of RPMs instead of having to use more to speed back up once you get off the corner. But like you said, I think just the inside lane, even though you're going to be slowing down just a little bit more than you would, running the higher line, shortest way around the track. And when you're trying to save fuel, that's what you want.
So here we now look at Craig A. Burns. He's 10 seconds behind leader Chad Biesinger at the moment in that 23, as he has to hit pit road also. But now I'll tell you what, looking at the gap between Everett and Preston, it is less than a second. It's only about 8/10, and you can see those 3 laps, pressure tires are going to, I think, eat this 29 up.
Yeah, he's already caught up to the back bumper here, well within drafting range, and I think Travis Everett has played this pretty masterfully. And looking at it, I figured that Craig would be able to put these guys a lap down and have that extra lap and a half. Not the case. He's less than half a lap, about a quarter of a lap now ahead of these guys while they're on the same lap. I just don't think this is going to play out well for Craig Burns, especially being on the older tires now.
Yeah, it's just too much time. He's running 30.98 right now to Preston's 29.97. So, I mean, yeah, it's a second slower right now, but and only about 4 seconds ahead. So it's not going to work out well, I think, for Burns. It was worth a try, though. So it was definitely worth a try here. As you see, GT's got by Willett there, back there behind this battle, but Everett is here now, and Preston has got pretty much his worst nightmare at the moment, that 59 now, with 3-lap pressure tires directly behind him.
Yeah, it's just trying to, do everything he can here to take away his line and keep that dirty air on there, and maybe hope that you're able to kind of keep him there long enough for the tires to equal out a little bit and make it a lot harder on him. But the run he's getting off of 2 is not that big to where he can really make the move before he gets into 3. But that may just be a matter of Travis being really patient. You see him really back up turn 3 here to kind of take the air off the nose and try to formulate something here by the time they come out of 2.
And, well, he also could save a little bit behind him here. Save a little tire. Try to set him up for the last part because, at some point the tires are going to start to wear. If he just rides behind him and saves that extra 3 laps, whoa, look at this Willett trying to put the moves on GT Azari. And this is the battle here in points, too, because GT Azari right now, points leader, Willett in that 3rd spot. This is interesting to watch here.
Yeah, Willett just getting clear there. Now going into 1. GT, they've been battling pretty much the entire race here. I think in terms of 2 trucks that have been equal, it's the 4 and the 81. They've just been swapping back each and every lap here. A little bit of psyching out of the 81 and the 4 going into 3. Man, I'm surprised by how well the outside's working for the 4 right now.
Making it look very nice here as they go down the 1 and 2. Can the 4 of GT Azari get this pass done around the outside? Side by side here, Willett fighting on the bottom, doing a great job also in that 81. He gets a pretty good drive off. It's still side by side as they head down to 3 and 4. Man, these guys ain't going to quit. The next 21 laps, they could be side by side.
Yeah, and it's just enough of a run on the outside there for GT to keep hanging with him. And I think the longer he does this, the harder of a time that John's going to have keeping it pinched down that much wheel into it. It's really going to start hurting his tires, and all it needs is just one little mistake out of the 81 on the inside where he has to check up. And it's pretty much smooth sailing for GT as he falls in line right now, try to make another run at it here.
Trying to make another run at GT is... Here's the XL for 4, a little decent run, but up ahead of him, we have a new 2nd place man, or actually a new leader as Chad Biesinger has hit pit road now in the 23. So we have a new leader, and that is Travis Everett at 59. And he is starting to walk away from this 29 here. I think he called this race perfectly for the strategy.
Yeah, I was gonna point out, you were talking about trying to sit behind him and save just a little bit, and I feel like I would have taken the opposite approach to that. Try to use your advantage while they're at its maximum, your tires. While they're freshest, try to get around him as soon as possible. Because with the older tires, even if you give up a little bit more because you burn them up a little bit to get around him, that dirty air is going to prevent him from really doing anything with you, just by having that couple lap fresher tires. And we'll see right now. I don't think that Curtis is really going to be able to make a run at him. He's going to be able to keep with him, I think. But as far as trying to set up a run to make a pass, I just don't see that happening out of the 29. At least not without a mistake from the 59 Travis Everett.
Yeah, I think Preston will have to get it back from him in the next 5 to 10 laps. Anything after that, it's going to be, I think, in the 59's hands. Especially, like you said, with the dirty air, it's going to help that 59 so much. That 29 is going to be at a huge disadvantage here.
Even with the older tires, he's doing a very good job of hanging with them. They're see what their lap times are across the line this time by. And it looks like he's only about 100th off of his teammate right now, so still able to keep well with him. I think just the advantage is the exit at 2. The draft is pulling Curtis along down into 3 and then through 3 and 4, but the run that Travis is able to get out of 2 is really where he's strongest right now.
Good battle for him here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Right now, you got the 2 teammates from Slide Job Racing battling out Curtis Preston, Travis Everett. Entering tonight, Curtis Preston here hasn't had the greatest season personally in the trucks. Only 1 win for 12 starts as he's our Cup champion. And also, teammate Travis Everett, 10 starts. He's had 2 wins too, so to his name. So if Travis Everett can get a 3rd win, he'll be the 2nd most wins of the season so far, behind Cody McCauley with 5. So that would be a heck of a stat to carry for him for having only 10 or 11 starts after tonight.
Yeah, having that good win ratio there, wins versus starts. I'll always take that. He's not fighting for points or anything like that. Oh man, I feel for him. Curtis Preston, that is he's actually making a run here through 3 and 4 to get to the inside of teammate Travis Everett. He might be able to get into a position where he can hold him off here as Travis just kind of opens up the door, lets him go on by, Zach.
It also depends how smart was Preston. Did he go out there, run as hard as he can right off the set of his tires? Or did he know my teammate's going to take this longer? I need to conserve these things and make the most out of them. Because right now, he's going to need the most of them as he has got back to the lead, like you said. And we'll be coming to 12 to go this time. Let's see what Everett has to do to respond back.
Yeah, lap times last time by Travis Everett, mostly due to just the wider entry he took into turn 1 to give Curtis the space. 2/10 off, but still within that 2/10 bracket, right on his bumper here. He's just well within striking range. I think it's just a matter of trying to figure out where you can get that run, cool your tires off, keep within range, and then strike at the opportune moment. And he got a great run coming out of turn 4. Now looking to go back to the inside of the 29.
Looking for the opportune moment. Here it is. The 59 Travis Everett side by side with teammate Curtis Preston. They'll be coming out of 2 this time, and it'll be 10 to go when they cross the start finish line. Still side by side with the nose there on the 29. 59 and Travis Everett's going to clear in that Hooters machine, and they'll be coming out of 4 here to 10 to go. What can the 29 do to respond back? It looks like they both had an answer for both their moves so far. Let's see if Curtis Preston can make the right move here as they head back down to 1.
Well, he's got a good number of laps here left that he can take it easy, kind of ooh, but he slid. That's not going to help.
Big slide.
I think that's pretty much it. Now with the amount of heat that Curtis Preston's going to have and the gap that he's given up, I just don't think he's going to, even if he can get back to the bumper of Travis Everett, I just don't think he's going to have the tires left to really be able to make that pass. But a great run so far, and he was hanging in there even with the older tires. Just unfortunate not quite gonna get the win tonight, but great run nonetheless.
Very great run so far for Slide Job Racing. 1, 2, 3 so far for their drivers at the moment. They're looking very, very strong as they head through 3 and 4. Travis Everett, though, opened up that gap with that huge mistake there from Curtis Preston. It's going to be 8 to go now with a 0.6 of a second lead. And I tell you what, for having a bad lap the lap before, he had a better lap than leader Travis Everett that time by. If he can start to close in a little bit, he'll start to get the help of that draft again. And we'll see if he can get in distance to make a move.
He is just on the window of being able to sniff the draft of the car ahead of him here. And it seems like he's charging turn 3 a lot more than what Travis Everett is. I feel like he thinks that's where he really is going to be able to make up all of his ground. But it seems like the exit center off of turn 2 is really where Travis is stronger with the fresher tires here. It's evened out quite a bit, but it's still an advantage and pulled up to within that 7/10 bracket there. So he's definitely got the draft now. Just making slow gains with that advantage into 3 that he has.
We'll see what the lap time here it is. 31.67 to Curtis Preston, 31.69 for Travis Everett. So a little bit of time gain there in that 29. If Everett makes a mistake here, it could be very well within reach here for this 29 Curtis Preston. They'll be coming out of 4 this time to take 5 to go, Brandon.
Yeah, and that's really all Curtis Preston can do. Like I said, I think he could probably get to the back bumper, but with the tires that he has, I don't think he can really make the pass. He's just got to be there and try to force some kind of a mistake or just be ready to pounce if there is a mistake out of that 59, and that's really all that he can do. If it happens, then that's great. He did exactly what he needed to, but if not, I mean, it's still second place, and he fought hard for it.
Oh man, faster that time by also. It was a 30.64 up front to a 30.62 from behind. 0.02 of a second making the difference. It's going to need more than that here as we come to 4 to go. That time by, it looks like Curtis Preston actually lost 500. So everything he's gained, he has lost back with 4 to go as they get by the 6 of Richard Gonzalez. He goes up high on the racetrack. And he is going to get out of the way here and let these leaders go on by here to take 3 to go when they come out of 4. Can Preston run him down, or does Everett make a mistake, or is he rock solid down to the end here at Texas?
Well, Curtis again through 3 and 4. Looked like he chopped about a 10th off of that lead. Still looked like 4 100s quicker than Travis that last time, but hundreds is not going to make the difference here. He needs about a 10th.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need to take tenths here, not hundreds. As they go down to 3 and 4, we're going to ride on board here with the 29. You can see the distance here as they come out of 4. It's going to be 2 laps to go. And behind them, GT Rosari got a strong hold on 3rd here with 2 to go. Curtis Preston within a half a second. There was your tenths, Brandon. He made up tenths.
And looking at him coming out of the exit at 2 right here, he is on the knife's edge. He is pushing that truck, trying to get everything he can out of it. And kept even with him, but right now, his strength has been 3 and 4. He's just been able to carry so much more speed through that set of corners than the 59. But it looks like it was dead even that time by. I just don't think he's got enough speed with 1 lap to go here.
One final lap here, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. Travis Everett going to try to make it one final time. A whole 10th taken out that last time by. I tell you what, if it was a few more laps, Preston would have a good shot at this thing. He's got to make it through one final corner for Travis Everett. He takes a wide arcing entry in, gets to the bottom. Here comes Curtis Preston, but it's going to be not enough time. Checker flag in the air. Travis Everett is your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight for the Texas Motor Speedway. Great battle between him and Curtis Preston, as Preston will bring home that second position. 3rd is going to go to GT Rosari. 4th, John Willett. And rounding out your top 5 will be Michael Sheffield. So 4 of the 5 in the top 5 is your Slide Jobs Racing teams. Congrats to everybody out there on the racetrack. What a race there between teammates. It looks like Everett's going to come around this time. Let's see him do some celebrations here on the front straightaway here to let us know how he feels about winning here tonight in the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series. He's going to light that 59's rear tires up and smoke up the Texas Motor Speedway as we will get ready to head to break, everybody, and before we have our post race interviews. We'll be right back. All right, we are back here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting at the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series here from the Texas Motor Speedway as we get head to our post race interviews here tonight with our top three finishers. First up is going to be our points leader, and man, it's going to be tough to beat here after for these final two races for this championship. Let's see what GT Arizona has to say as third place finisher tonight. Hey, GT, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do, sir. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. Well, I'll tell you what, another great run for yourself out there. Another top five finish to go in the books here for you tonight. 14 races in this season. You're looking at 12 top fives and 14 top tens, man. So a great season for you. It's been fantastic so far, leading the points and another great finish here tonight. How was the racing out there to get your 12th top five of the season here tonight?
Fun. Texas is always fun. Even on the old configuration, it was always fun. But I knew I knew that during practice it was going to be tough to beat Curtis number one and Travis. Travis is one of them guys that just I don't know. I don't know how he does it at some of the tracks, but congratulations to him. But it was fun though, man. I mean, John and I, whew, we were going at it, just fighting for that third place, and there was a couple times I got up underneath him through the tri-oval. And we actually made contact. I'm lucky it didn't send him or both of us around. But man, it was fun for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch the battle between you and the 81 John Will out there. That was a heck of a battle there for the third position to get here on the podium tonight, man. But I tell you what, we got two races to go here left in the season. We head off to Dover next week. What are your feelings about Dover and finishing out this season, possibly as a champion?
It was a cool track. I actually we ran here there last season, and Chef reminded me that that's whenever I was about lap 15 or so, my Oculus went blank, and ended up crashing out the field. But for whatever reason, luckily he had those fast repairs on for that race, so I really didn't screw everybody too bad. But I like Dover. Dover's a fun track. It's one of those ones where I mean, you see it all the time with the trucks. We get long green flag runs, so um, it's going to be a tire management thing, especially there. You just got to be really patient with the truck and just kind of run your own, almost like Darlington, but ironically Darlington's last. But, you just kind of got to race the track versus trying to worry about racing everybody else.
Yeah, it's definitely really true. We got two pretty tough tracks coming up, man. So it should be fun to watch here. But congrats on third here tonight. Before we let you go, anybody wants to shout to?
As always, Chef Michael Sheffield and Sheffield Graphics for everything they do. Ryan for everything he does with the RSR League. Um, always thank you boys for coming up here and doing this right here. I know it's a little bit more exciting with the truck series because we got such a small field. When you can really see some dicing going on there. So I hope it was a good show for you. Um, and really, like always, thank the rest of the guys out on the track. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be racing. And I mean, they're just a great bunch of guys. So that's about it, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome stuff, GT man. Well, we'll catch you next time here. Well, tomorrow night actually. Sure, we'll catch you tomorrow night too. But we'll catch you next time too in the truck series next week. But congrats, man, and you have a great night.
Well, y'all have a good one.
All right, that was GT Arizar, your third place finisher here tonight in the number 4 machine. Your points leader, looking to pull off a possible championship. Now we'll get to the man who battled up here front with his 3 teammates for the win of Curtis Preston. See what his thoughts are on tonight's race in Texas. Hey, Curtis, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy? Hey, Curtis, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy? Oh, you got me. Okay. Hey, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Heck of a battle between you and teammate Travis Everett there. It was really, really fun to watch from up here in the booth. But kind of explain to us how it all played out between you two here tonight at Texas, because it was a definite battle between you two.
Yeah, he had 1 and 2 figured out a little better than we did. He was just a tick better than us in 1 and 2, and when he got around us there, I was able to hang with him because the draft, all the way down the back stretch and then back around through 3 and 4, you could run 3 and 4 wide open all night. So we were able to hang with him. We got back by him one more time, and then I got loose there off of 2, and it lit the rear tires up, and I never could get the grip back. But I made a stupid mental error on pit road on that last stop, slid through my box. I probably could have got out, I don't know, another second and a half in front of him. I don't know if it have mattered or not, but it at least gave us a better shot.
Yeah, definitely didn't see that. So great there. You brought that up. Man, that's unfortunate to hear you slid through the box a little bit there. It was interesting because the first run there you built the lead up. Travis kind of got stuck there trying to get into the second position. He went a few laps longer, it stretched that tire. It seemed like he was able to run you down right before you pitted. And had a little bit of tire difference, but like you said, you made that mistake there. But you seem to come back at him even there at the end. We started to make up a little bit of ground there and get closer for you to have a few more laps at a chance. So if you didn't make that mistake, what was going to be your go-to there, you think?
Just try to stay in front of him and take the air off his nose in 1 and 2 is about the only chance I had. He just had to run from the center off of 2 figured out. I don't know what it was. It seemed like we were running about the same line. I don't know if I was getting to the gas too early and sliding the tires a little bit or what, but he just had that part figured out.
He definitely did, man. But I tell you what, it was a great run between all your teammates here tonight. All 4 of y'all in the top 5 here. So that was great to see in all 3 in the top 3. So it was a great night for Slide Job Racing, man. But before we let you go, Curtis, for your second place finish tonight, anybody wants to shout out to?
Yeah, I got to send a shout out to all the guys at SJR. Always fun to come out here and run door to door with these guys. Everybody that comes out here, a couple guys didn't show up tonight. Shame they couldn't make it. But Michael Sheffield for putting this on. And you guys up in the booth, man, what you guys do for us. Can't thank y'all enough. Y'all do a great job, man. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, Curtis. You have a great night, and we'll catch you tomorrow night, man.
All right, you too, man.
All right, that was Curtis Preston, your second place finisher here tonight. But we'll move on to his teammate Travis Everett, who was able to get the upper hand here tonight in that 59 machine, pull off his second victory of the season. Let's hear what his thoughts are, or his third victory of the season, I'm gonna say, when we get that third victory. Hey, Travis, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Well, I tell you what, Travis, man, third win of the season here in the Truck Series. And I tell you what, that one was a pretty nice drive for yourself there after it seemed like the beginning of the race there, you started there behind your teammates and you got to that 4th position, got by GT, and then from there tried to get around John in the 81. And it seemed like right there you got kind of stuck behind him. And from there, Curtis was able to pull the gap. You pitted a little bit later. And from there, man, you just drove them down and used them tires to your advantage. How was the racing, though, from the truck side?
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned there. Starting off, I didn't have any practice qualifying. It was basically practice laps for the night. And just got in line there and tried to see what everybody was doing and ended up copying Curtis's line there a lot while I could see him start off with. And like I said, different pit cycles there for everybody. It kind of paid dividends for us there with a little bit fresher tire.
Now was that was that kind of the goal? Because I know you went longer on that first stint, and it seemed like that next stint you planned to even go maybe one step farther or even another lap. Did that first stint kind of after that first pit stop kind of give you hope that going longer would be the right way?
Well, to me, the longer it went, the better it felt in the truck. Even though the times were slower, so I was just trying to take it out as long as I could there. I knew I was losing time, but to me it felt good, and I didn't think I would lose quite as much time. And then I think Curtis, the last pit stop there, he slid through his box, and that really helped us there. He didn't come out with quite the gap that he did the first time.
Yeah, it was a great battle between you two, man. Though I tell you what, he made a little mistake there behind you and lost a little ground and gave you a little bit of breathing room there at the end. But it would have been a heck of a finish, I'm sure, if you wouldn't have made that mistake. But you guys put on a show nonetheless, battling all the way down to the end with strategy and out there on the racetrack. Great teammate racing. But we head off to Dover next week, Travis. You think you got anything for us Dover next week, maybe to pull off that fourth victory of the season?
I don't know if we got anything for him, but I feel like Dover's one of probably my better tracks, so definitely looking forward to it. Takes a lot of technique to get around that place. It'd be easy on the gas coming off. You're gonna pretty much knock the wall down.
Yeah, definitely will. The Dover is the Monster Miles, so it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, the final two races of the season here in the Truck Series, Dover and Darlington, some of the toughest tracks on the schedule, and it's a great way to end off the season here on the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series, man. But I tell you what, great win for yourself tonight. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate this thing?
Yeah, just want to tell Ryan and everybody over there at Evolution Racing Leagues, they do a great job, and we appreciate all they do. Sheffield Graphics for all they do. All my teammates over at Fly Jobs Racing come home 1, 2, 3, and I believe fifth tonight. So a great night for us, and all y'all over there at Freaky Fast providing the best coverage that we could ask for, and especially my wife and son, they allow me to do this every Monday and Tuesday night. So special thanks to them.
Awesome stuff, Travis, man. Well, congrats on the win here tonight, and you have a great night, man.
Yeah, y'all do the same. See y'all tomorrow night.
Yep, same. All right. There you heard it from himself. Travis Everett, happy about the win here tonight. We'll see him tomorrow night in the Cup Series. Same with his teammates here in the Truck Series, but fantastic race overall. That is your Sheffield Graphics race winner there of Travis Everett. We'll go ahead and pull up our race results here and see where your favorite drivers finished tonight here at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series here. As Travis Everett bringing home that win. Second's going to go to Curtis Preston, his teammate. GT Azari there in the third position. Fourth is going to be John Willett. Fifth, Michael Sheffield. Sixth is going to be Chad Biesinger. Seventh, Richard Gonzalez. Eighth, Brendan Biesinger. And right out the field in the ninth position is Craig Burns, as that is our race results here tonight from Texas, as Travis Everett was able to bring home the victory here tonight. What a fantastic race between him and teammate Curtis Preston. Also, GT Azari and John Willett for that third position was fantastic. And I tell you what, we got a final two races of the season coming up and these next 2 Mondays. It should be fun. Don't miss it here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But Brandon, what can we expect to see in these final two races? I mean, it seems like GT may have it pretty locked up if he can just make at least the races have no issues and get that truck started and rolling out there on the pit road to get a lap in. But I think we got some pretty close battles between John Willett and Michael Sheffield there for that second and third position, possibly in points also.
Well, I think we're gonna have to see a lot of just race management. Especially these last two tracks, Dover and Darlington. It's all about coming out of it with a clean truck or a clean car, and they're tough, man. Just the line you run there, the amount of speed. It's really easy to find the wall, and even easier to find yourself up in somebody else's wreck. So I think the guys that can really have the best management of their races are the ones that are going to come out ahead in points, especially. And for GT, it's just about survival. I think he's just got to, get another solid top five finish in tomorrow's race, and that pretty much locks him in.
Completely agree, man. There, completely agree. Couldn't have said it better myself. We'll see how those final two races play out here on Freaky Fast Broadcast, so make sure not to miss that. But we'll send it up to the boss man himself here tonight to close out tonight's broadcast. That's Robert Moore Jr. himself, as we had a fantastic night here. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Like Zach said, thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Zach, for calling a great race. Thank you to Evolution Racing League, Michael Sheffield, and everybody here that takes part in this and their drivers. But all right, well, we're going to pack our stuff up here and head off to Richmond as we're going to be getting ready for some ARCA racing and some cup racing tomorrow night with Evolution Racing League. We will be going live at 7:20 and then we will be live at 9:20. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow night at Freaky Fast Broadcasting at them times. And that's about it. So until then, we like to say here at Freaky Fast, God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.